Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Karens. In today's episode, she called CPS on me for letting my kids be, well, kids. Male Karening. Entitled former employee. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. She called CPS on me for letting my kids be, well, kids. Just really needing to vent here. Not sure if this would be the right place, but I am so livid. We have a neighbor that has a little girl around the same age as my little girl. They've become great friends. Every day either my daughter would ask to go play with her, or she'd ask me if my daughter could play. And she'd always say how much they loved having my daughter over and how polite she is and how she's such a good kid. The mom made me believe that we were becoming friends and I trusted her with my kids. I also have a toddler son. So I trusted this lady to babysit my kids one day to pick up an extra shift. The next day CPS shows up at my door. The date of the complaint was the day she babysat. The complaint said I neglect my kids because they're filthy and my daughter's hair is messy, so I obviously don't bathe them. The complaint also said my house is unsafe due to trash everywhere. My kids play outside every day. It's summer. My daughter goes over there to swim. Yeah, they're gonna get dirty and her hair's gonna get messy. WTF? I told the CPS worker of course my house is gonna be messy. We actually live here. I have 2 little kids and I work. She did a walk through of my house and talked to my daughter. She said, "Could your house be cleaner?" Sure. But is it unsafe? No. She even told me her house even gets messy and her kids are older. She made sure my kids have a safe sleeping area, which they do. Made sure we have food and running water, which we do. She had no concerns from my daughter. She told me they have to keep the case open for 30 days and then will let me know after the 30 days if it'll be closed, which she said it more than likely will be because she found nothing wrong. I'm an attorney who routinely deals with situations like this. There are trigger-happy people who call CPS and the police because they love the attention. It's a game, it's an abuse of the system, and once they start, they keep doing it. For example, next will be a restraining order against you because she feels threatened, etc. Stay clear at all costs and do not get into any back-and-forth conversations no matter how much she gaslights you or insane she gets. Make an invisible border. And don't make any announcements about not being friends anymore, etc. No drama. No confrontations. Just be permanently busy forever. She's dangerous. This is amazing advice. No confrontation, cordial enough on the surface, and absolutely no opportunity for drama. That's what I did. Blocked her on Facebook. Then decided to delete social media altogether. Next step is getting an estimate for a privacy fence. Unfortunately, your daughter can't be friends with the girl anymore. I wouldn't go near that child or that woman, and I wouldn't let them come near me. Instant no contact. Let us know what happens, OP. This is my real concern. Your daughter is going to be cut off from being able to be friends with the neighbor and she will not really understand why. The Karen either knew this and didn't care about it or can't see 1 inch in front of her nose to see that there are consequences for her actions here. Sorry this happened. Your daughter will forgive you someday, but expect her to not understand what is happening. Wow, one more person not to trust anymore. I'd be very careful at the idea of letting her daughter in your house, or even being alone with her kid. This right here. It's going to be tough for your daughter, but she cannot be friends with the neighbor's daughter anymore. You need to cut contact 100% outright. And now the little girl's friendship suffers because that lady is a moron. I mean, I don't know if there's more to the story, but if it's as is, why wouldn't she have talked to you before reporting you to CPS? That's how it is. They anonymously report to CPS and don't say a word to the parent. I had similar happen to me with someone I trusted. I went off on that person through text and got no response, but they made sure to tell the CPS worker I made threats. Is calling somebody every name in the book a threat? I don't think so. At least CPS was legit and knew you were good. But don't you just love when people show you who they really are? Now you know who to kick out of your life. I was once told by a friend who worked for CPS that the most concerning home to her was a super clean home. As she put it, any kid makes a mess. It's what they do. If there's no mess, then the parents either prioritize cleaning over the kids, physically abuse the kids for making a mess, or mentally abuse the kids to the point they've stopped playing. Whenever she would see a clean house, the first question is if they pay for a maid. I always thought my house needed to be spotless until people kept saying it always looks like nobody lives here. It finally clicked, it doesn't have to be spotless cause I do in fact live there. I would put a Ring doorbell at your door. Because she's going to come to your door and ask if the kids can play together. You are rightfully going to say no. And she's going to spin that conversation into lies if she doesn't get her way. Oh, she was rude to me, better call CPS again. Or I could hear her children screaming in the background, better tell CPS. So you'll want video footage to dispel her lies. I would always speak to her in a customer service voice from now on and tell her you're social distancing because you're concerned about the spike in COVID cases. That new BA.5 variant is brutal. There's your excuse. Male Karening. So we are hired to do some minor improvements to this guy's, MK, converted separate garage. MK is using it as a rental. Floors and cabinets upgrade, no permit necessary. Then MK adds some more things. We say, you're probably gonna need a permit. MK refuses. MK adds some more things, we say, you need a permit. We will get you one. MK says he should get one. City stops by and says you don't have a permit, stop working. We stop working. MK becomes irate, assures us it's fine, refuses to pay for permit, refuses to pay current bill, so we give written notice to MK re-breach of contract and stop working. He goes to oversight agency and says we abandoned his job. Agency agrees we are not at fault and it's dismissed. MK again refuses to get permit, refuses to pay bill, refuses to pay us to get permit and demands. We finish working, all while city has a stop work. MK gets permit on his own dime, changes the entire design, and files again with oversight agency. Now I have to go through it all over again. Just because he is screaming and crying like an orange puffball. Louder doesn't make you righter. Ugh. Put a lien on the property for what's owed you and walk away. He won't pay you even if you keep working. Cut your losses and run. Orange puffball. Now, let's keep politics out of this subreddit. That's a difficult person. Hope everything works out well for you. Thank you. I'm gobsmacked over the whole thing. How do people like this feel good about themselves? Not sure where you are, but you may be able to put a mechanics/construction lien against the house. Often solves the issue without court or arbitration for clients that refuse to pay. Remove your tools and gear from the house and fire the client if you have a solid argument for the contract being breached. Oh yes. On that program W, every client. However, that was swept away in this case BCZ of excessive delays due to MK still. Lawyers are on it. I still stumble over this person's sense of entitlement. And behavior. I could never go through life like that. Ugh. Entitled former employee. Context: I was about 22 when this happened. Worked at a bar where there was always only one worker, bartending, running tables, cleaning, etc., simply everything, and where the majority of the revenue was from a small group of regulars. Among those regulars was this girl, let's call her Karen, not much older than me, maybe like 25, definitely not more than 26. Also Karen used to work there before me, until the bar owner fired her. And no one liked her. Not as a worker, nor as a customer, fellow regular. From what I observed, Karen always ordered one beer, one shot, and then sit there for 3 hours. Anyway, during the couple months before this happened, the other regulars told me Karen used to work there as well, which I didn't know until then, and that when they saw her from the outside, they decided not to come in and just go elsewhere. Apparently Karen used to bring new beers without anyone ordering them. She used to charge full price for half beers, etc., etc. Too much stuff to contain everything. Anyway, everyone hated her. Now cut to one day when I was working. It was a Sunday, so the opening hours were even shorter than the rest of the week. We closed at midnight. It's like 12:15 maybe. I still had a small group of people in, because they were nice, didn't bother me, and I needed to do a whole bunch of stuff before I could leave home. So I'm counting the day's revenue, cleaning, closing the bar, etc., and look who's coming in. Karen. Already drunk. Walking directly to the bar counter asking for a beer. Me, can't draw you a glass anymore, I've closed the tap. Know that closing the tap means to run clean water through the mileage of all the pipes, depreciating whatever beer's left in them, and then partially disassembling the tap. Karen, open it then. That would mean reassembling the tap, running beers through the pipes again, which would then mean I'd again need to close it and again depreciate the beer that's in the pipes, just because of her one glass. Me, not gonna do that. Karen, but I want a glass of beer. Me, come sooner next time, the bar's closed. Karen, okay, so I'll have a can then. Me, that's not gonna happen either, I've counted the revenue. Karen, it's one beer. Me, come during opening hours and you can have whatever you want, as for today the bar is closed. Karen. Me, stop right where you are. Give me the beer. Karen, I paid for it. Me, pick your coins from wherever you threw it, the beer isn't leaving this bar. Karen starts yelling at me for not respecting her title of a former employee, that she can do whatever she wants, that she wants her beer and won't leave without it, and I can't legally refuse to serve her, which I 100% could. Keep in mind, it's not only me and her, but there's still the group of like 3 people about to peacefully finish their beers. I told Karen to leave immediately, otherwise police will be called to escort her by force. She refused. So I did the only logical thing I could. Picked up my phone and called police. Remember, it's after midnight already, maybe 12:20 or something. Anyway, explained the situation, repeated a sentence Karen said during my call, now I'm going to wait here just for the sake of you not looking stupid in front of police, and waited for them to arrive. Now I don't normally seek revenge, but at this point I not only wanted her to leave, I wanted her to be in pain. So I let the other 3 people leave as they just finished their beers, and I locked the door, so Karen couldn't leave before the cops arrived. Well, they arrived, asked a couple questions, wanted to see our ID cards, which I showed. Karen didn't, as she didn't have it on her, etc., the normal routine. But then Karen started crying, claiming I refused to give her beer she paid for and other BS, which I promptly explained. So how did this all thing end? They told her to leave and come sooner next time, to which she said something like, no, I want my beer now or something, so they tried a second time, and as it had no better result, they escorted her to their car and took her with them. That's where the story ended for me until like 2 or 3 weeks later. I was told by the other regulars that they had met her and she told them I called police on her and that they made her stay on the station during the night and the whole following day, while she had nothing with her except her tiny purse with some coins and almost dead phone, without charger. In my mind, the fact she had to come with them to the station and then get back home on her own was great enough. But the fact she had to stay there for something like 20 hours without her phone and nothing to ease her hangover, that made my week. You should have told the cops that from now on she is no longer welcome at this place and has a lifelong ban. I agree. Employees don't deserve the crap they're given. Ever. There's never a good reason to be an $1 hole to a person who is simply trying to earn their keep. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.